Hi everyone, welcome to my 20-minute version of core Vini style / Pilates style yoga. So we're going to get started in a standing position. We're just going to start to warm up the shoulders, so gently lift them up to the ears and then roll the shoulder blades back down the spine. You're welcome to place the fingertips on the shoulders, otherwise just keep them relaxed down by the sides. And just start to lift the shoulders up to the ears in really gentle, slow movements. 4 times one way, and then reverse the movement. So lifting the shoulders up to the ears, really rolling them forward. So creating a wide range of motion in the shoulders. Really starting to get the fluid working into there. And now we're going to start with head circles. So keeping the head straight, we're just going to turn the head towards the right shoulder. Drop the chin towards the chest, take it to the left, and then drop the chin back down towards the right. So we just do little half circles, using the breath as you inhale, and then exhale. Now we're going to take those circles around to the back. So lifting the chin up, around, head, ear ends up towards the right ear, and then circle the head back. So left ear is near the right shoulder. Again, go through this pattern a couple more times, using the breath as you inhale and exhale. Now we're going to go into calf raises. So lifting up onto the balls of the feet, reaching the heels, and then lowering down. Again, going for 4 counts to complete the going up, lifting the heels high, and then 4 counts lowering down. You can stay here up for the whole 4 counts and then lower down, or you can just start to work in the stability as you inhale and exhale. And then we're going to reach the arms up and over the head. You can flip the palms around to the front of the room to externally rotate in the shoulder socket. Bring the palms to the top, exhale. This time flip the palms back to the back of the room. And then from here we're just going to do little baby calf raises, little baby pulses, getting really high up onto the balls of the feet. So you're working the backs of the calves. And then we're going to do that again, holding at the top, flip the palms to the front of the room, reaching the arms up and over the head, palms lightly touching together, and then switch the flip of the palms so they're facing the back of the room. This time to internally rotate the shoulder in the socket. And then from here we're going to come into arm circles. So stretch the arms out long. We're just going to circle 20 times one way, and then circle 19 times back. So you can go through your own patterning. If it gets a little bit too much, we'll start with 10, and then you can slowly build up to 20. The idea is that you drop 1 each cycle. So if we start at 10 for the purpose of video, cutting down the amount of time, and then circle back for 9. Forward for 8. Back for 7. Forward for 6. Back for 5. Forward for 4. Back for 3. Forward for 2. And then we go back 1, forward 1, back 1, forward 1. Trying to keep the core engaged, so knitting the hips and the ribs together, and then drawing the shoulder blades down the spine. So from here we're going to go into forward fold. So you can start with the arms up high, bring them down through heart center as you roll the body forward. Coming into a forward fold here, if it's your first forward fold in a while, you may like to hang out here just for a moment. You can keep a bend, a really big bend in the knees, and then release straight. You can even come up into chair, so you can really sweep the arms low, lengthen through the tailbone, keeping the back nice and long, lengthen through the crown of the head as you come up. Bring the hands to heart center as you exhale, folding forward. Again, coming through chair. If you want to add on, reaching the arms up high above the head. You can even take a little cactus style arm movement here. So bend the elbows in line with the shoulders, reach them back up, come through heart center with the hands as you fold forward. We'll do one more round, really warming up through the hamstrings. Reach the arms up high, come into that cactus, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhale, stretch long. Bring the hands through heart center, release into your forward fold. Because it feels really good in the body and I'm just warming up, I'm going to go through another round. So coming up through chair pose, elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale, stretch long, and then come back into your forward fold. From here, we're going to come back up. We're going to do some more calf raises here. So coming up high onto the balls of the feet and releasing the heels back down. Again, coming up 4 times slowly for 4, and then exhale as you release. Inhale, coming up. Exhale as you release. Inhale, coming up high. Exhale. And then once you get to the top, again, we're going to work on flipping the palms to the front of the room to externally rotate the shoulder in the socket. Palms together at the top. Exhale, flip the palms to the back of the room as you release the hands down by the sides, and then begin your pulses. So you can go for a 10 to 20 depending on how strong your calves feel, how stable you are. Again, keeping the core engaged, so knitting the hips and the ribs together, trying to lengthen out through the crown of the head so you're as long as possible. Then holding at the top just for a moment, and then releasing all the way down to the floor. So this time we're going to start the core work here. So come into a comfortable reclined position, and then we're just going to draw the core up and down. It's a really simple core movement. You can make it a little bit more purposeful by really drawing the core, knitting the hips and the ribs together, and bringing the movement in from the abdominals rather than the momentum of anywhere else in the body, really crunching, squeezing, and then releasing. You can add the arms, so lifting up high to the knees and then releasing down. Again, inhale, come up high and release. And then holding at the top. We'll go through 10, but if you want to build up to 20, you're welcome to do so. And then once you reach your set amount, begin the pulses. So just pulsing at the top, really squeezing and crunching in the core here. And when you're ready, release it down. You can draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a little hug. And then we're going to move into the bridge variation. So from here, we're just going to lift the pelvis up. You can have your triceps really pressed into the ground, elbows bent at a 90-degree angle, palms facing together to really help support the lift in the pelvis. And then you can draw the heels, so the heels are activated and drawing in towards the glutes. Then from here, we're going to crunch up and then release everything down. So we're going to go through this whole video for 10, but you can go through 20 if it feels good for you and you feel strong in your core. Really crunching up and then releasing everything to the floor. So again, just focusing on really squeezing the abdominals as you inhale and exhale. So feeling that nice release in the spine. And then once you get up to the top, we're going to crunch. Again, pulsing up high in your bridge. Pulsing for 10 to 20, depending on how many sets you're taking or doing. And then release. Now we're going to go into the eagle crunch. So from here, drawing the knees up, either just taking a simple crunch, drawing the knees in towards the chest, and then releasing out long. Otherwise, taking the eagle variation, so wrapping the right leg over the left to start with, and then bringing the right arm underneath the left arm, fingertips to palms, and then release long, squeeze up. Again, we'll go for 10 sets on each side, but if you need to drop it down to 5, or just do as many as you can and then build up to the full set. If you find this not challenging at all, you can always add ankle weights. And then when you've done your 10, we're going to switch that twist. So this time it's going to be left leg over top of the right leg. Wrap the ankles and take the bind if you can. Place the left arm underneath the right arm and then wrap the arms. So the right fingertips or the left fingertips are going to be wrapped onto the palms of the right hand. So again, inhale, stretch long. Exhale as you crunch up. Going for 10, really drawing the elbows in towards the knees as you inhale and exhale. Then when you've done your 10, release the bind. We're going to come into knee to elbow. So option here is to keep the legs straight and come into straight bicycles. Otherwise, keep a bend in the knee. We'll go through 20 ideally. I'll just cue 10. Slow. If you need to do more, you're welcome to do so. And now we're going to go into 10 or 20 fast. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going if you want to keep adding on, otherwise crunching up, and we're going to go into penguins. So just really squeezing the left side of the body and then squeezing to the right. Bringing the hands to meet the toes on each side. Using that side core movement, really crunching in through the sides of the body to create the movement here. Again, a full set would be 20, but if you can go for 10, that's fine. So leg extensions. From here, we're just tapping the feet to the floor and then stretching the knees long, stretching the legs long, just bending and straightening at the knee joint without moving the legs. Try and keep and draw the lower belly in towards the mat. Again, the idea is that you're knitting the hips and the ribs together. And then from here, we're going to go into leg lowers. So option is to lift the tailbone up off the floor before you release the legs down long. So lifting and then lowering. Again, when you've done your 10, pause and hold at the bottom for 5 counts. We'll do 3 rounds of 5 holds. And on your last one, holding here for 5. Draw the legs back out. This time we're going to do crisscrosses at the bottom. So drop the legs, cross them over, and then bring them back up. And then switch the cross. So lift the legs, lower them, right over left. Lift, lower, left over right. Lift, lower, right over left. Lift, lower, left over right. Again, we'll go for 10. If you want to add on and go for a full 20 sets, 20 reps, you're welcome to do so. And then now we're going to start to work a little bit more flexibility down the legs. So drawing the leg, right leg, start with the right leg, drawing it in somewhere towards the face, and then switching the legs over, bringing the left leg into the face. So it's really slow and controlled to start with. Just really working on creating a little bit of flexibility and length in the back of the leg as you inhale and exhale. And now we're going to go for 10 fast. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we're going to come up onto our glutes. And then we're just going to take penguins, but it's sitting variation. So Russian twists. Taking the arms across to the left of the mat, reaching the legs to the left, taking the arms to the right side of the mat. So again, we go for 10, just switching the arms and the knees so the arms end up on the outside of the knees. As you cross and switch. Remembering to keep the core engaged. And then from here, we're going to take sitting knee extension. So squeeze the knee into the chest. If you can't come up out of the lower lumbar, which is ideally where you want to be, then you can hold on to the backs of the knees and just extend them up long and then exhale. So using the breath. Otherwise, another option is to place the hands behind the bum somewhere and just lengthen the legs and exhale. Full option, stretch the arms out in front of you, keeping nice and lifted up out of the lower lumbar as you inhale and exhale. And when you've done your 10 rounds, or if you're going for 20, release back onto the mat. This time, stretch the legs out at a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the floor. Interlace all of the fingers. Keep the pointed fingers out, and for females, cross the left thumb over the right, or males, right thumb over the left. From here, we're just gonna reach up from the upper abdominals, reaching up to the toes. Go for 1 and hold for 3, and then slowly release and exhale down. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So coming up, bring the fingers towards the toes and then release. Again, coming up and releasing down. This time when we come up, we're going to release both the feet and the hands at the same time, reaching the arms up above the head. Come up again, this time both the feet and the fingers are coming back up, and then release down to the mat. Again, using the breath as you exhale, release long, then perhaps inhale coming up. This time we're going to stay high with the body and just drop the feet. So we're going into leg lowers from a seated position. Do about 3 rounds. When you're ready, hold, bend the knees into the chest, release the back down onto the mat. Allow the feet to rest, soles of the feet on the mat. And then we're going to lift and extend one leg out in front. So from here, interlace the fingers coming up to your seated position, toes, fingers towards the toes, and then just release down. So that's our neutral variation. This time we're going to come up and we're going to add a twist on either side. So twisting to the right side of the mat, fingers away to the outside of the right leg, coming up to neutral, and then twist towards the left. So the fingers draw over towards the left side of the mat, coming back to neutral and then releasing down. We're going to do 1 more full set. So coming up to neutral, holding here for a couple of counts, noticing the breath as you release in your exhale, coming back up again, inhale, coming up, And then exhale as you twist to one side. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Exhale as you twist to the other side. Coming back to neutral and then releasing the back flat on the mat. Swapping the legs now, coming back up to neutral, really using and squeezing the abdominals. Exhale as you release the body long on the mat. Coming up for your twist variation now, so twisting towards the left leg. Inhale, come back to neutral, and then twist towards the right side of the mat. Inhale, come back up to neutral, and then release the body long on the mat. Again, coming up again, really using the core to create the movement. Release back down long, and then coming in to your last twist variation. So coming up high, twisting off to the left side of the mat, coming back to neutral, and then exhale as you twist to the other side. Coming back to neutral, releasing everything down to the mat. Squeeze and hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to finish off this series with a little bit of a stretch in the legs. So we're going to come up through, we'll start with the left leg, bend the left knee in towards the chest, circle 3 times one way in the hip socket, and then 3 times the other way. From here we're going to squeeze the knee into the chest, and if you can, take it into half happy baby, so releasing the heel to the ceiling, really pulling the toes towards the face. And then you can interlace the fingers and take the sole of the feet in the hands, and then just start to work the knee in towards the armpit here as you inhale and exhale, releasing it all down and letting it go. If you want to come into a longer, deeper stretch, start to release that leg long, taking a couple of breaths, and then finding your full range of motion. So if you can, take that foot, drop it towards the outside shoulder, coming into your side stretch here as you inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, bringing it back to neutral, release the leg a little bit closer to the face, finding that nice deep stretch down the hamstring. Then we're going to cross the left leg over towards the right side of the mat. So if it feels good in your body, you can shift the hips, release that leg long down the mat again. And then the idea is that you really want to keep the shoulder blades flat on the mat. So if it means bringing the left leg up a little bit higher so that you can access that point, keeping the left shoulder blade flat on the mat, it keeps that spine a lot safer in the lumbar area. When you go for your deep twist, taking a couple of really deep, big belly balloon breaths here, and then bending the knee in towards the chest as you come back down, bringing the hips back to neutral, and then we're going to go for a little bit of a reclined tree here. So drawing the knee in towards the chest, drawing that foot along the mat, open the knee out to the side, and then release that foot back down towards the bottom of the mat. So again, drawing little toes up towards the right knee, opening the left knee, and then allowing that foot to glide down to the bottom of the mat. And then just repeating this movement just to get the patterning in the body, just gently opening up that hip flexor. As you release the toes down to the mat, this time we're going to reverse it. So this time we draw the knee open, drawing the knee along the left side of the mat, lift the knee up to the ceiling, and then draw the feet down towards the end of the mat. Again, open up the knee, allow the knee to draw up the side of the mat, draw the knee to the ceiling, and then release that foot down towards the end of the mat. Again, take one more round here, drawing the knee up the left side of the mat, bringing the knee to the ceiling, and then releasing that foot down the bottom of the mat. This time we're going to take the right knee in towards the chest, starting your circles here, 3 times one way, using the breath to guide the movement. And then reverse the circles in that chest, knee to chest circles. And then drawing the knee in towards your happy baby. So it's beginning to interlace the fingers if you have the availability, otherwise you can take a strap. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Really pull the sole of the foot down, using that resistance in the palms of the hands to create a nice deep stretch in the hip flexor and the hip socket. And then open up that leg. Again, finding your comfortable maximum range of motion here. So really starting to stretch through the hamstrings. Finding the ideal placement, if you can, interlacing the fingers and then releasing the fingertips into the heel as you inhale and exhale. And you may find that one side is more flexible than the other. So don't be alarmed or just come into it without expectation. Just staying with your breath. If you lose your breath, you've gone too deep. So just come back out a little bit. So you can make sure that the breath is the primary focus for all of your movements. As you inhale and exhale. And then from here, if you can, take it out to the side, coming into that long stretch in the right side of the hamstring. And then when you're ready, switching it over, taking the leg across the body. Again, the idea is that you want to keep that right shoulder flat on the mat. So if you need to take the leg a little bit higher to make sure that this point of connection is engaged, just take your time, work with the breath, and then gently find the ideal maximum stretch for your body to work with today. Give yourself permission to pull back if you need to. Perhaps not going so deeply into it. Just being really gentle with your bodies. And then allowing that deep belly balloon breath. As you're in the twist, it can get a little bit harder to breathe. So just really focus the breath here as you inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, releasing that foot back down. Again, coming into your tree variation. So start with the legs long towards the end of the mat. And then begin to lift that knee up towards the glutes. So bending the knee, drawing the foot towards the glutes. Open the right knee out to the side. And then allow that leg to reach long down towards the end of the mat. And again, coming into about 3 rounds, drawing the right leg up towards the glute, bending at the knee. Opening the knee flat on the mat if you can. And then drawing that leg down towards the end of the mat. Again, one more round, drawing that foot up towards the glutes, opening the knee towards the mat, and then sliding that foot down to meet the other one. This time we're going to reverse it, so drawing that foot up along the side of the leg as you open the knee up to the right side. Bring that knee to the ceiling, and then exhale as you release the foot down towards the end of the mat. Again, going for another round. Opening the knee out to the right side of the mat, drawing the knee towards the ceiling, and then slowly gliding that foot down towards the end of the mat. And again, one more time, drawing that knee up on the right side of the mat, bringing the knee towards the ceiling, and then release that leg down towards the end of the mat. So that's it for the core. The next section is going to be for the back and the glutes and the hamstrings. So look out for the second part of this video. Otherwise, it is a full flow I recorded yesterday. So if you want the whole hour sequence, you're welcome to have a search for that video. Thank you. Namaste.